Okay, so for my kids, I really try to watch their sugar intake because I know how detrimental sugar could be for children, and they're going to get plenty of it and other things, and so I try not to do a whole lot of extra sugar. And so one of the ways that I am, really conscious of this is looking at all the ingredients. So something as simple as yogurt. Yogurt can have a lot of added sugar, and my kids love yogurt, but again, I try to find varieties that don't have too much. I really like Greek yogurt, and Greek yogurt you can buy plain, and then I will add some honey to this or a little bit of stevia. But when in a pinch, I do like to buy the Yoplait Go-Gurt. There we go. And I freeze these, and these are very similar to popsicles for them, and they're still lower in sugar than popsicles. They don't have the high fructose corn syrup as well as any added color. So these are a go-to for us, and I keep these in the freezer. And then I like to keep the Greek yogurt on hand because we also use this in place of sour cream for my family. So we'll put a little bit on our on our potatoes or our taco soup or something like that. All right, let's talk about dairy. I'm not gonna go too much into this. I am not a huge fan of dairy. Again, we eat a little bit of cheese and yogurt, but when it comes to actually dairy consumption, I prefer not to purchase milk for my family. Now, if you have a farm that you can get raw milk from, I think there's some great benefits to that. For my family, we choose to do almond milk, and we do the unsweetened brand. And you guys, this is going to take a little bit of time. In the very beginning, my husband grew up on a gallon of milk a day. And so, he's not going to have a big glass of almond milk. It doesn't taste like regular milk, but when it comes to like cereals and cooking and things, you really can't tell a big difference in it when you're starting to use it. And kids like it. My kids like it, but again, you might have to buy like the sweetened varieties first and then decrease it down to the unsweetened kind. But again, in cereal and cooking, you really can't tell a big difference. Now, when you're buying almond milk or coconut milk or even cashew milk, look for an ingredient called carrageenan. Carrageenan can be really hard on the digestive tract, and so it can actually cause some digestive issues, and you don't realize that. So I like to look for that and buy brands and varieties that don't have carrageenan. And so that's something, Aldi's, I love their almond milk brand. Walmart, their Great Value almond milk. Again, buy the unsweetened brand or unsweetened varieties. And let me show you again, there's a newer one that I love. It's a little more expensive, but I just feel it's a little creamier, and it's one of my favorites. And that is this this brand right here. I love it. We go through that, and again, because we're not necessarily drinking it, we're just using it in cereals and things like that. It lasts a while in our household. If you need to buy milk for any reason, or you just feel like, hey, it's something that I'm going to keep for my family, I do recommend going for the organic brands. There's Horizon, and then Walmart now even has their own organic. Organic means that the cows were simply fed organic grains, so that means the milk is going to be organic. All right, so I'm standing here in the meat section. I'm not gonna go too much into meats. Something to just consider is trying to buy as clean as possible, but I know that this can be hard on the budget. Grass-fed beef is always gonna be your best option. Now, something to consider is finding a local farmer and buying like a quarter of a grass-fed cow. It's going to save you a lot of money. But if you have to buy, from Walmart, I do try to go for brands like Smart Chicken. Look for like no antibiotics, no hormones ever used. Grass-fed beef is always going to be your best option. Sometimes they have organic meats. They're going to cost a little bit more. So another way that you can help make it a little, better is make the meat more like your side. And so like, if you're making a big pot of chili, put a lot of beans in there with 1 pound of grass-fed beef and then like 3 cans of beans, and that will feed my family for a few days. And there's varieties like, we do pork every few weeks, and we like chicken, so I do try to buy a lot of the chicken breasts, and I buy the brand, Forester's Farm is what I usually go for because it is hormone-free, non-GMO, and so that's something that you can look at too whenever you're looking into your meats. When it comes to fish, I like to keep a lot of frozen salmon or some kind of fish on hand, and I always try to go for the wild caught. That's one of my favorites because there's 4 fillets in there that are about 4 ounces a piece, and only for $3.77. That's a great price for some wild caught salmon. but always look for wild caught. That is going to be your best over the farm raised. Okay, so I'm in the frozen section right now, which I do buy some frozen foods. And one thing is chicken nuggets. I know some people, really discourage chicken nuggets, but they're easy, they're quick, and if you buy the right kind, I really like this. It's a frozen brand. No, it's not organic, but no antibiotics are ever used, and I feel like it's a pretty clean because the ingredients are chicken breast, water, rice starch, and sea salt. There are also gluten-free and organic varieties. I wouldn't buy like the classic Tyson or like Dino nuggets or anything like that, but these are really nice because I can pop them in the oven really quick for the kids and have an easy protein source for them in about 20 minutes. I love to keep these on hand because, again, quick, easy side that are pretty clean. The whole family loves them. Okay, so yes, fresh produce is always best, but I also say that frozen is second best. It's better than canned in most cases, and a lot of the times most of the vegetables still have a lot of their nutrients intact. So keep a few frozen vegetables on hand to make, again, quick, easy dinner. We love sauteed frozen green beans. You just throw them on a pan with a little coconut oil, saute them up with a little garlic pepper or whatever. It's easy. They're green beans. So we like to keep frozen vegetables on hand. Just watch for the ones that have like added butter and added seasonings. That's when you can get into trouble. So just buy plain frozen vegetable varieties. If you can afford it, do some organic. There's a lot of different brands, and there's also a lot of like medleys and stir-fry mixes and things. Just make sure and look at the ingredients. Make sure you're not getting any seasonings like MSG, monosodium glutamate, and things like that you like, high sodium that you just don't need. You just need vegetables, and you can season them yourself. I also like to keep frozen fruit on hand because it's really easy to just throw into my smoothies, as well as if you leave it out for about an hour. I like it because it gets a little bit of juicy, and I like to put this on top of my yogurt, or my kids even like to eat them plain. So I like to buy this big brand bag of the organic variety at Walmart. It's really not much more expensive than the non-organic, and it lasts a long time. All right, so that is the end of this grocery shopping trip. So there is still, I could probably make another hour of video material, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to overwhelm you. If you have any specific questions, please let me know. I'd love to give you, my opinion and my advice when it comes to certain things. But I hope you found this video helpful. If you need anything else, please reach out to me. I do grocery shopping one-on-one trips with my customers and my clients. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me. We can arrange that. Otherwise, I hope you found this information helpful, and I hope you have a blessed day.